In the heart of ancient Ife, where green hills cradle the sky, and a wide river whispers secrets to the earth, there lived 3 sisters, Adia, Amara, and Naya. Triplets, identical in a way that made people doubt their own sight. Their skin glowed like dark honey under the sun. Their laughter floated through the village like wind chimes. When they walked to the river, calabashes balanced on their heads. The village stopped. "They are the stars of Ife," people whispered. But what the villagers did not know was that stars can fall. One evening, under a thin crescent moon, a hunter stepped onto their path. His voice was calm, but sharp. "Which one of you is the most beautiful?" The sisters laughed. "We are 3, Adia said softly. "We are not 1. But that night, beneath the same mosquito net, a silence grew. For the first time, comparison entered their hearts, a tiny crack in a perfect mirror. And cracks spread. The next morning, the air felt heavy. The village stairs felt different, measuring, judging. Then the wind came, sudden, violent. Dust filled their eyes. When it passed, Adia touched her cheek, a grey mark. Amara felt her arm, rough, ashy. Anaya reached her neck, a shadowed pattern. The village gasped, and just like that, love turned into suspicion. "They are cursed! The gods are jealous!" They were too proud. Whispers followed them everywhere. The warmth they once felt from the village became heat that burned. They stopped walking together, stopped laughing loudly, stopped shining. They became strangers in the place that once worshipped them. They began fetching water alone, at dawn, at dusk, never at noon. The house that once echoed with laughter now held silence. Each sister secretly wondered, was it my fault? Jealousy had entered quietly. Now shame had made a home. One afternoon, Mama Nkosi came, blind with age, but wise beyond sight. She sat in their dark hut and listened. She did not interrupt. When they finished speaking, she laughed softly. "My children," she said, "these are not curses." And the sisters looked up. "The village did not love you," Mama Nkosi said. "They loved an idea of you. They loved perfection. And when perfection cracked, they turned away." Tears rolled down their faces. "True beauty," she continued, "is not skin that never changes. It is a heart that remains kind when the world becomes cruel." Silence filled the hut, but this time it felt lighter. "Tomorrow," Mama Nkosi said, "walk to the river together, at noon." Fear wrapped around their hearts, but they held hands, and when the sun stood high above Ife, the sisters walked, heads raised, marks visible. The village fell silent. At the river's edge, they looked into the water. They were no longer identical, but they were still them. Adia's grey mark softened like a sun-kissed freckle. Amara's rough patch shimmered faintly. Anaya's shadowed neck settled into patterns like a leopard's grace. They were not broken. They were becoming. When they returned to the village, something had changed. Not in their skin, but in their posture, in their eyes. They no longer needed admiration. And strangely, that made them stronger. The village saw it. A child tripped in the dust, cried loudly. Adia did not hesitate. She knelt. She hummed. The tears stopped. The mother who once whispered, "Cursed," now whispered, "Thank you." Love began to return, slowly. The whispers did not vanish overnight, but the sisters stopped shrinking. They walked together again, laughed again, stood together when eyes stared too long. Their unity healed faster than their skin. The sisters began to notice something new. They were different now. Adia was patient and grounded. Amara was tender and nurturing. Anaya was wise and steady. They were no longer three reflections. They were three lights, distinct, brilliant, whole. Mama and Kosi visited again. "Look at the baobab tree," she said. "It is scarred by storms. But does it fall? No. It stands stronger because of them." The sisters smiled. Their marks were not shame. They were stories. Years passed. The people of Ife no longer spoke of curses. They spoke of resilience. The sisters were no longer called the flawless stars. They were called something greater. The daughters of strength. And like the moon, they shone not because they were perfect, but because they reflected something deeper. Love. And the lesson of Ife lived on. True beauty is not in never falling. It is in rising together.